Here's a short video update on the unboxing of my 10-inch Orion RC telescope. And here I'm showing the mod that I did to the primary dust cover. I trimmed the edges off because it was pretty difficult to install on the telescope, and it was difficult to remove it too. I could see that, at some time I would probably end up scratching the paint on the panel or the mount, and I'd probably be pushing on the secondary mirror, and I would probably guess that at some time or other that would probably misalign it. So something had to be done, and here it is after the trim mod. Here's a Farpoint 10-inch batten-off mask that I got for the 10-inch RC and for the 10-inch Meade. And here's a Farpoint batten-off mask to fit the 3.5-inch dew shield for the Meade 70 millimeter quad APO. And here we go. This is the Celestron polar finder, and I don't know what they were thinking on this thing, but it works pretty good, but if you make a mistake and leave this thing on while you're using the telescope, you'll more than likely smash the telescope into it, because the way that it was designed, it wasn't designed too well, so you have to remove it. And here's an 8-position electronic filter wheel from ZWO. This thing is pretty solid. I got it when I got the 10-inch RC, and I've been just kind of like playing around with it and operating it and just waiting for the filters and the Astro camera to come in. But yeah, this thing is pretty rock solid. Here's my Farpoint laser collimator kit, and if you're trying to image with a RC telescope, I don't know how you can get along without having some kind of collimation tools, because these things do go out of collimation pretty easily. Sometimes I find myself collimating every time I go out because it's just a bit off. It's much easier for it to go out of collimation than it is for my Schmidt Cassegrain. So I've worked out a couple of different methods for getting this thing lined up, and I think I pretty much hit on one that works pretty well. And there you see the beam is it's a pretty nice beam. It's got a really good tight circle. There's only a little bit of stray feathering to it. Not too bad. And here we go with the unboxing of the ZWO 1600 mm Pro. And this is my first true Astro camera. I already had the ZWO 290 monochrome camera that I use for guiding. I've had that for a little while, a couple of months, when I bought the telescope. And like I said, I've been this is my first true Astro camera. I went for the mono, and this will be replacing my Canon DSLR. I can't wait to really get into some true Astro imagery. And looks like they packed it really well, and they give you this little keychain. Hey, get off my finger. Get out. Yeah, get away from here. So they give you this little keychain, little trinket thing. That's a nice little bonus. And yeah, they give it to you for free for buying the camera. So it's a little non-pro version of ZWO's camera. It's a nice little touch. All right, let's get down into the meat of the matter. There it is. The ZWO 1600mm Cool Pro. No, it's not the cool. It is the cool version, but this is the newer version. They don't call it cool anymore. They call it Pro. So it's the 1600, the ASI 1600mm Pro. I did know what was pro about it, and I forgot. So I don't remember why they call it that. And also I got a bunch of filters. This is all from Agena Astro. I buy a lot from them, and I buy a lot from the other guys too, so no complaints. And there's my trusty letter opener. I'm glad that they really take their time and pack these things really well, because this stuff is very expensive. I'm used to getting expensive equipment because I do cinematography, and I'm really pleased that these retailers do pack their products pretty well, because nobody wants to get in a broken piece of equipment. That's a bummer, to say the least. And there we go. ASI 1600mm Pro. I was really looking for something that I can, something that had a hub on it where I could do the two USB 2.0 ports, and it has a USB 3.0 port on it, and that's the one that you hook into the computer. You plug into the computer, and it came with a lot of cables, lots of cables. And for some reason ZWO is going with the flat cables. I don't know why. I guess it looks cool, maybe. We got some short ones there to hook up to other peripherals, like the filter wheel and the guide camera. And there's some extenders, and I will use the 21 to put right into the telescope, so it will go on the other side of the filter wheel, and that will serve as my nose piece, 2-inch nose piece. I don't want to use the 1 1/4 inch. I just feel like that 2-inch is much more stable, and I'll probably get more reliable, repeatable insertions using that one. And there's the 1 1/4 that comes with it, and there those spacers, the little thin spacers, are, I think they're for putting in between the camera and the filter wheel when you screw it together. And this right here, I have no idea where that goes. And I don't know, maybe an inspection tag. And here's a manual. Okay. All right. This one is the Optilong CLS CCD filter. I got all my filters in 1 1/4 inch size, and I don't think I'll have a vignetting problem, but if I do, I'll just replace them. And this baby is stuck in there. Man. Maybe my hands are too big? I don't know. I've never had any filters like this, so this is all new to me. It'll probably be an ongoing experiment. That's just usually how I tend to do things. I'm constantly experimenting with things and building things. So this will be no different. This is the ZWO LRGB kit, and I may end up replacing this because I didn't realize it until after I ordered it that there's a premium kit that you can get that's specifically designed for this ASI 1600. So I'll probably end up replacing those, but I'll keep the filters. I like my equipment. HA filter. This is the oxygen 3, and that's the sulfur 2. These are all 1 1/4. And these are all packaged pretty well. Nice little cases. Yeah, it's pretty clean. No debris on it. I hate when I get a new piece of equipment and it's dirty. Don't like that. And here we go. This is the oxygen 3. And this one's pretty clean as well. And this is the hydrogen alpha. HA filter. Hydrogen alpha. It's hard for me to say. Hydrogen alpha. And this one is clean as well. Just set these aside for a minute. And let's take a closer look at this thing. Okay. Alright, I will go through assembly, disassembling the filter wheel case, and go through assembling the individual filters. Just checking out which filters are what. Because I have in mind pretty much how I want these things installed. This screwdriver's a little bit wimpy for this, for the screws that are in this unit. Or maybe it's because my hands are too small. I doubt it. Okay, there's a view of the internals. And first off, let's start with the LRGB kit. And this is the Luma filter. Gotta keep everything clean. With my rocket blower. They're kind of difficult to get in there, but they fit really well, and it actually screws down pretty low profile. It goes beneath the upper surface there because it's got an indentation that causes the profile to be lower, which is pretty cool. If you have filters that are not as low profile as as the ZWOs are, you're probably still gonna be all right because the filters are inset. And this is the green filter. And you know, I just got this thing today, so everything's brand new to me here. Gotta keep it clean. Oh, that was the red filter. And now we have the green filter. And now we have the blue filter. Gotta keep it clean. And of course, I put the wrong filters in there. Good thing I caught that. And now for the narrowband filters. This is the hydrogen alpha HA filter. And next, the oxygen 3. These are all ZWO filters. And next we have the sulfur 2. These are all 7 nanometer filters for the narrowband. Kind of difficult to get that baby started. Come on, you can do it. That's what I get for having big fingers. And last but not least, the Optilong CLS CCD filter. This is a broadband filter, and it's basically it's a light pollution filter. Okay, I guess I will hook it up to the computer and give it a quick test run just to make sure it's working before I close it up. I'm pretty sure it is, but you know how it is. I just like to check things out. I could see it do a little dance there, so that was good. That's a good sign. And in Sequence Generator Pro, and I'll go ahead and cycle through a few of the filter change settings. And there we go. And this is for the green filter. And this one, I don't know what that one is. Success is what it is. And that position works, number 8. And do some more cleaning. And position 7 works. I think that one's sulfur 2. Position 6 works. And 4. Which is blue. And number 1, this is the Luma filter. Back to position 3. And to position 5. And let's go back to the Luma. Success. And now I'll go ahead and reassemble it. And as always, just put all of the screws in loosely until you get them all seated. That's a well-known mechanics trick before you tighten them up. This way you won't have any binding when you put any screws in. And they'll all line up. Then you do the final tightening after that. Last screw. Then I'll go and start tightening them up one by one. And recheck them just to make absolutely positive that they're tight, and you don't want to strip any screw heads. Okay, this is the 21mm nose piece that I want to use to insert it into the focuser of the telescope. Oh, this is the wrong side. Wrong side. That's the telescope side. Make sure that's tight. And next to the camera, I'll remove the spacer ring. Don't really need that there. And it comes with some little shims that you can put in between the camera and the filter wheel so that the camera's not rubbing right up against the filter wheel. And here's an attempt at some cable management. I'll have to look into it further, but this is a good first start. And this is the complete setup. I have it on the CGX-L mount. That one will do up to 75 pounds of payload. I have the Celestron GPS unit on it, the Celestron polar finder scope on it. I have the Pole Master polar alignment camera on there. And what else? I have a 60mm guide scope on it also, that I'll probably swap out from time to time with the Meade if needed. And I'll also be using the same setup on the Meade 70mm quad, and probably as well as the Meade 10-inch Schmidt Cassegrain. I had to buy another 22-pound counterweight in order for it to balance, and it works out pretty well. I've done a couple of mods to the telescope that made it a little bit user-friendly. And that is it.